Okay, I'm all finished. Got the front of my gable end all braced up just like the back from yesterday. I did the back of the house. This time I did the front of the house over the garage because it was not braced. This house was built in 1993, right after Hurricane Andrew, a year after that hurricane. And in Florida, they didn't have the coating updated by then for, what builders should do to structurally make the roof and the trusses more stronger on these homes. This house does have hurricane straps on each and every one of the roof trusses down to the concrete block, but did not have any structural bracing for the gable end. And as everyone should know, gable end roofing is actually one of the weakest roof designs as far as for wind speeds and wind mitigation. So what I did is I braced up my gable end roof by putting 2x4s up against the side of those trusses, which are the truss boards that are running from the top of the ceiling all the way up to the roof, are turned flat inward to accommodate for the stucco in the sheeting on the outside of the house, to give it a more bigger surface area to nail the sheets of siding to. But with the wood placed that way, the darker pieces of wood placed like that, that is actually a weak design. So when the wind is pushing this way, that darker board could bow inward, and if it were to be pulled out, it would bow outward, pulling all the sheeting off, the whole end of the gable end of the house off, and then rips the roof off, water pours in, you're pretty much done. So what I did is I attached the 2x4s all the way from the top of the ceiling all the way up to the top right over here. I screwed the brand new board to the side of that, in which this vertical board that I put in place right here has metal straps which are screwed to the bottom of it and to the back side, which you can't see. And as you see, these shorter pieces of lumber right here are covering the rest of the strap that comes out this way. I put screws down on top of that, anchored it down into the ceiling rafters. I did not replace this board because it runs the whole length of the attic. No point in cutting another piece of lumber if it's already there. So I did that. The middle of this gable end was a little tricky to brace up because of the angle up here. So what I did is I put a 2x4 all the way across from one side to the other, and then I ran a 2x4 from the top of that vertical brace where the strap is coming out in this way. I screwed that down to the top of these boards right here, and then of course I put my block in place over the strapping, in which you can see I put blocks over the strapping for each one that I did. Ignore those screws. I put those in the wrong place and I couldn't get them out because of that beam right there. But rest assured, there are plenty enough screws in that board to hold that strap in place. Same thing with over here. I covered up the strap, put a lot of screws in there. Same thing with over here. And the code in Florida states that if your gable end trusses are less than if they're less than 36 inches in length, you do not need to brace them. So I only braced all the parts that were longer than 36 inches. That way, for wind, structurally, it is nice and sound. Back up here a little bit. And as you can see, I also ran 2x4s the length of about 4 or 5 feet over the top of the ceiling, and then same thing over here. And then I put, as you can see, those blocks are, everybody's probably thinking, what are those little short blocks? Those little short blocks on top of the longer 2x4s are actually securing the metal backstrapping down, or the truss brackets down to the 2x4s for extra secure protection against wind. So this took me about 4 or 5 hours to get it done, and the results actually turned out really nice. There's absolutely no room to move around in this attic, but I'll tell you, it is completely all braced up, And I'm gonna call out my homeowners insurance company next week and see if we qualify for a little bit more of a wind mitigation discount because the gable ends have all been braced up. Tell me what you guys think. Leave your comments and hit the subscribe button below. And thank you very much, guys, and y'all have a great day.